When was the last time that someone held you? Not romantically, not sexually, not because they had to, but just to offer you touch, to offer you comfort. For so many of us, that question brings up a quiet ache. We live in a culture that centers around independence over intimacy and performance over presence. But your body, it still remembers what it's like to be held and it still longs for it. So today we are talking about a tender but vital topic, touch hunger, also called affection deprivation. It's the experience of going without nurturing physical contact for extended periods. And whether you're single, grieving, long distance, or just feeling disconnected, this episode is for you. We'll explore why safe touch is a biological need, not a luxury, and how you can begin to meet that need gently and without shame, even if you're currently going without physical closeness from others. Let's begin. Our nervous system is wired for touch, literally. Touch is the first sense to develop in the womb. Safe, attuned touch in infancy forms the blueprint for safety and trust in relationships. So when we experience safe physical contact, our body releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, and oxytocin actually downregulates cortisol, our stress hormone, and reduces inflammation and increases our vagal tone, a key component of a regulated nervous system. A study published in Psychosomatic Medicine in 2010 found that even brief touch, like a 20-second hug, significantly lowered blood pressure and heart rate, indicators of sympathetic nervous system deactivation. Another study in biological psychology in 2013 showed that physical touch increased vagal activity and emotional resilience. Even more profoundly, researchers have found that affection deprivation is associated with increased rates of depression, anxiety, loneliness, and even immune system suppression. Touch is how we co-regulate. It tells the nervous system, you are not alone, you're safe now. And in its absence, we often adapt in ways that create emotional armor, but the need doesn't ever go away. So how do you even know if you're touch starved? So here are a few common signs. You crave that physical affection but feel overwhelmed or uncomfortable when it does actually happen. You self-soothe through pressure, things like tight clothing, stretching, crossing your arms, or even skin picking or painful activities for yourself. You feel emotionally disconnected or numb. You identify as hyper-independent or feel like you shouldn't need others at all. One study in Health Communication in 2015 showed that people with higher touch deprivation scores reported significantly higher levels of depression and anxiety. This isn't about weakness. This is about a biologically unmet need. And it's not your fault, whether it is past trauma, neglect, cultural conditioning, or isolation. Many of us are navigating life in touch-deprived bodies, trying to think our way into safety without ever feeling it on the skin. So if you're recognizing yourself in this, I want you to take a breath. There are tender, empowering ways to begin reconnecting with the body. Here are some somatic practices that we can start to use to begin to meet your need for safe touch, even without the presence of another person. So the first one that we can look at is different types of self-holding. So for this, you can cross your arms and give yourself a gentle squeeze as if you're holding a child or giving yourself a hug. Or maybe you feel more comfortable placing one hand on your heart and maybe one hand on your belly and noticing the warmth of your own touch. A 2021 study in Scientific Reports found that even imagined touch or self-touch can activate similar brain regions associated with social connection. The next thing that we can look at is weighted input. So using a weighted blanket, compression clothing, or pile of pillows on top of your own body while lying down. This gives us that proprioceptive sensory input that calms the nervous system, especially helpful for those that may find themselves in dorsal vagal shutdown. We could also use things like tactile stimulation, so dry brushing, warm oil massage, or simply rubbing lotion slowly into your skin. And this helps increase our interoceptive capacity, your ability to feel and interpret bodily signals. We could also look at our furry friends. Petting a dog, cat, or even observing a fish in water has been shown to lower blood pressure and reduce loneliness. And of course, if you do have a safe and trusted other person in your life, then consent-based human touch, so therapeutic massage, cuddle therapy, or even hug agreements with a friend. The key here is consent, slowness, and attunement. Quality of touch matters more than how much you are getting touched. So even if you're not ready for full contact, your body can begin to feel safer through intentional, non-threatening touch. So let's pause here for a moment, because for many people, admitting that you are touch starved can bring up a lot of shame, grief, or embarrassment. Maybe you've been the strong one, the independent one, the overfunctioner. Maybe you were raised to believe your need for closeness was too much, or it wasn't honored by those around you. But your body never really stopped having that innate need and desire to be held. And that isn't something to pathologize, it's something to honor. Touch is not a weakness, or the need for touch is not a weakness. It's a primal form of repair. And you're allowed to want connection. Humans are interdependent species, so we rely on each other. You're allowed to want to be held. And there are ways to begin giving yourself that care starting now. So I want you to repeat this with me if you'd like. It's okay to want to be held. That longing makes me human, not broken. And just let that truth land for you. So if this episode did resonate with you, I want to invite you to try one self-soothing or co-regulation practice today. It doesn't have to be big, just one moment of intentional connection to your own skin, weight, or warmth. Touch hunger doesn't make you needy or weak, it makes you wise. Your body knows what it needs to feel safe. And if you're walking this path alone right now, please know that you aren't in fact alone. I'm right here with you, and I see the strength in your softness. And of course, don't forget to share this episode with someone who might need this reminder, and come find me on Instagram at Anna the Anxiety Coach. I'd love to hear what this brought up for you. Until next time, go gently.